I mean, the truth of it is, that is what's happening. Biggest money in the world doubling down on gold, not on cryptocurrency, not on money markets, and not on the Magnificent Seven. At the same time, that's exactly where the people in this country are, thinking that rates could never go higher, things can never get worse, we can never see a bank or insurance company failure until we do.
The stock market turns, especially the NASDAQ, and I think they will turn, and also cryptos. We could see people ask themselves, where could we go? And they're going to look at gold and silver and the miners as well.
In 2025, central banks worldwide, including the Federal Reserve and the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, face a delicate balancing act between controlling inflation and fostering economic growth. A sharp increase in interest rates in the U.S. could strengthen the dollar, potentially putting downward pressure on gold prices as the precious metal becomes more expensive for holders of other currencies. Conversely, if central banks adopt a more accommodative approach, gold prices may rise as demand for this non-yielding asset increases. Investors view gold as a hedge against inflation and a haven amid market uncertainty, offering consistent support for its price levels. Andy Schectman and Mario Innecco highlight the far-reaching consequences of rising interest rates on government debt, currency values, and the overall fragility of the financial system. They caution that a significant event could trigger a crisis. While demand for precious metals like gold and silver is growing among well-informed investors, retail interest remains subdued despite recent price increases. Andy emphasizes that the most sophisticated investors are focusing on gold rather than stocks or cryptocurrencies. Many Americans are adjusting their portfolios by investing in cryptocurrencies. Over half, 52%, have sold stocks or gold to buy Bitcoin, and 20% have allocated more than 30% of their total investments into crypto. This indicates a significant shift, with individuals placing big bets on the future of cryptocurrencies. Mario Innecco emphasizes the likelihood of a shift in sentiment, particularly when stock markets and cryptocurrencies inevitably experience a correction. He believes that once this occurs, more investors will flock to gold and silver, recognizing their intrinsic value and the undervaluation of mining stocks. We're about to explore the video, but first subscribe and hit the bell icon to keep up with our newest uploads. Your feedback in the comments is always appreciated.
Premiums on gold and silver coins that were parabolic during the pandemic have fallen to levels I've never seen before. Much like a pendulum shifts from one side too high to the other side too low, that's where we are right now. The biggest, most sophisticated, well-informed money on the planet is doubling down their acquisition of gold. And the people in this country, largely, if I had to, I don't know, kind of just paint a narrative, it would be that they are swept up in the euphoria after 4 years of living. But I think it's a big mistake, and it's setting people up in disaster. I mean, we can just simply say there are three groups right now, three pools where the majority of the money is. One, money markets, over $7 trillion, which typically is associated with a recession, on top of all of the recession triggers that we've seen, the Somme rule and the uninversion of the yield curve and all of these things. Number two, 7 stocks. The Russell 2000 and the Wilshire 5000, which is a much better picture, snapshot of the United States economy. The majority of those are underwater. 7 stocks holding the whole thing up. That's where the majority of the money is. And then in cryptocurrencies. And the cryptocurrency market, in particular, Bitcoin, has been so financialized. Thinking again in terms of a rug pull. One big bank falls, one big bank, like a Bank of America. You keep hearing rumors of it, a bank bail-in. Things get very real, very, very fast, as it would sweep up in one swoop a good portion of all three of these markets: the crypto market, the 7 stocks, and this money market phase where even though they changed gating legislation, they can now impose serious fines, if you will, or costs for making them really uneconomical to leave the money market if people start to do that. It's the same thing as gating, only you can leave, but at a very high price. So I'm not, again, trying to walk the line of conspiracy and reality, but when you talk about how bad this could get very quickly, it's very fragile. And I think that's the one thing people are missing. It's very, very fragile right now. And I think the stage is set for something to happen that would very quickly wake up the entire country, which would very quickly reignite the demand for physical precious metals, like we saw last March and April when the banks failed Silicon and Signature, where we added 14,000 clients in 45 days. That's 4 years worth of client acquisition. And those banks were illegally bailed out. Remember what happened in Lindsay, Oklahoma in October, the first bank bail-in. Was that a test flare, if you will? Was that a trial balloon for a bigger, more significant bank failure, which would usher in what? I guess that remains to be seen. But yeah, I think that the people are missing entirely. It's funny because at the same time, all of the people are missing, the most well-informed traders in the world are doubling down. This is the one thing that I think kind of slaps me in the face. And I'll be one of the only people saying this over and over. But yeah, but you own a gold company. I don't care. I mean, the truth of it is, that is what's happening. Biggest money in the world doubling down on gold, not on cryptocurrency, not on money markets, and not on the Magnificent Seven. At the same time, that's exactly where the people in this country are, thinking that rates could never go higher, things can never get worse, we can never see a bank or insurance company failure until we do. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I would add that I don't have to add anything about demand for bullion, but it feels like the sentiment for gold and silver is still really low. It is, despite the fact that we had a great year last year. Gold was up like 27%, silver about 21%. And
that's not high enough anymore in this instant gratification.
I've noticed that, like in China, though, the public is the demand for gold and silver is huge. So I also feel that they're a bit more savvy about what's going on, and even the Chinese government, communist government, is encouraging its people to buy gold. And so I think when the stock market turns, especially the NASDAQ, and I think they will turn, and also cryptos, we could see people ask themselves, where could we go? And they're going to look at gold and silver and the miners as well, and see how undervalued they are. So yeah, in a way, I think that's, we're still, there's no exuberance in the precious metals market yet.
The precious metals market, including gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, plays a crucial role in the global economy. Valued at $205.2 billion in 2023, the market is expected to expand from $221.62 billion in 2024 to $379.8 billion by 2032, reflecting a compound annual growth rate of 6.97% during the forecast period from 2024 to 2032. Gold and silver in particular are viewed as inflation hedges. Rising inflation diminishes the purchasing power of fiat currencies, leading investors to flock to tangible assets. Both Andy and Mario stress the importance of being financially prepared during uncertain times. While they acknowledge that gold and silver may not protect against all aspects of life, allowing individuals to maintain financial security amidst societal turmoil. Now, let's redirect our attention to a video.
It's not just in Europe, like you said, it's also in the US, the whole Western world. And I think it's by design, by the same people who are behind like the climate agenda. And I think the reason they're doing it, and I say this being like born in Brazil and having studied here in the States and living in the UK. I've moved around, but the kind of immigration they've had, and especially in the last few years, allowing illegals to come in and against these people, and I can understand why they want to come to Europe or the US, because their countries have been also destabilized, it all seems to be culminating. I've always spoken about the symptoms of a dying currency. It's not just economic, but also culturally and societal. And I think the people behind this, like let's say the Open Society, George Soros and others, their goal is to destroy nations so that they can have like a one world system. which is easier to control. But there's a lot of backlash now. And we saw in Romania recently, they had elections there, and this candidate who wanted to reverse these policies, he won, and they canceled the election. And now we're going to have elections in Germany, I think February 23rd. And I think Breton, he's like a French politician who was a commissioner in the EU. He said, if the AfD, alternative for Germany, if they win, we're going to cancel that election. I mean, it's
How do they even say that?
I know. It's just pretty outlandish. So, yeah. And the other thing, and then again, it's the old concept of divide and rule. So if we're all like at each other's neck with illegal immigrants, and we're feeling that our culture is being destroyed. People that, yes, keep an eye on these things, and they will affect you and your family greatly, but try to not let it get you down, and try to look after yourself. And that's one of the reasons why I tell people about gold and silver, because it's something that it's not going to protect you in all aspects of life, but financially it will keep you relatively safe. And if you have financial safety, you can try to fight what's going on.
Yeah, if these people in positions of power can actually say something as ludicrous as that, well, if they win, we'll decertify the election. What does that say for the mountain that Trump has to climb? And these people are not just Eurocentric. This is a group that is the whole Western-centric. And that's why I think that 2025 to me will probably be a more eventful year than any of us think. Probably more eventful than things that we saw over the last several years, which no one would have ever thought anything like that could happen. I think that's kind of, to me, the prevailing environment, Donegan, is that people are not prepared. They think the worst is behind us. And so, the rain is gone, so they shed their umbrella and their rain jacket, and they don't see what's the possibility of it happening again. And I think that, to me, is the scary part, is that people are now probably doubling down on the risk-on trade and not looking at any potential black swans because Trump is here. And I think that is a fatal flaw, perhaps, of the way people are thinking of things.
Gold has long been a symbol of wealth and continues to be a key investment asset. It safeguards against inflation, currency fluctuations, and geopolitical instability. The price of gold is shaped by central bank policies, demand for jewelry, and its function as a reserve asset. Silver, on the other hand, serves both as a precious and industrial metal. Its use in electronics, solar panels, and medical devices makes it highly valuable in today's economy. Due to its smaller market size and greater sensitivity to changes in industrial demand, the silver market tends to be more volatile than gold. What is your stance? Drop your comments below and let us know what you think. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe for more. We're grateful to have you with us on this journey.